are things going on that you would not believe.
First of all, the Institute is absolutely incredible. Joe, I can't believe that this is like your first leading role because you crushed it, my friend.
Thank you, mate.
Incredible. And Ben, you're always great. That's a fact. Now, Ben, this is kind of a refreshing change for you because you're playing a hero in this, not the villain in this project. Is it fun to kind of stretch those muscles for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I started my career kind of in boy with sword territory, kind of, playing the hero, trying to, kill the monster, and then I kind of got lured into this world of psychopaths and villains and baddies and crazies and douchebags, and I spent a good few years in that kind of headspace. So it was kind of felt important to me, to try and find my moral compass, as an actor again, and play someone who's kind of a force for good, someone who you're rooting to be kind of helpful and useful in a story, because we all grew up watching. I grew up watching those kind of 80s and 90s films where you're rooting for the guy to do the thing. So right. I think it was nice to kind of get back to, even though he's a more sort of stoic, quiet kind of character in that way. It's still a layered character, but somebody that you're kind of rooting for to do the right thing was important to me.
Yeah, I love the journey of the two characters eventually meeting up. Like it's a really interesting thing to watch. Joe, Luke is such a complex character. He's incredibly smart, but still very much a kid. But what was the biggest challenge of portraying someone with so much inner strength under constraints of surveillance and control?
Yeah, I mean, it was trying to find that thing of, because obviously I'm older than the character of Luke. So it was trying to, because I definitely wasn't like that as a 14-year-old. Definitely, I was an idiot. But yeah, it was trying to find that thing of how do I make this engaging while also remembering that Luke is just a kid. The things that he goes through shouldn't happen to anybody, but least of all a 14-year-old. So it was trying to find that balance of he's a genius, but he's also he has the wall that he tries to challenge all of the people in the Institute, Hendrix, Tony, Sigsbee, Stackett, like all of them. But then at the end of the day, he is just he's a kid. So it was
absolutely. Like, Ben, your character plays a larger role in the series than he does in the novel. Did you go back to the book to draw inspiration, or did you focus more on the series reimagined characters that we have in the show?
Well, it's an interesting structure to the novel, because you spend time with the Tim character in the beginning in his sort of lonely, slightly shameful world where he is trying to find some peace and trying to find some purpose. And sort of restart his life. And those chapters felt very useful to me in terms of like the atmosphere of them. I think then when we got into the bulk of the story, you leave Tim in the novel while you focus on what's happening in the Institute, which is so thrilling and exciting. But we wanted to find a way to kind of stretch out what Tim is doing, to kind of see the sort of similarities between the characters and what they do have in common, what they could become to each other and for each other. And also sort of physicalize Tim a little bit. I think he's a little more thoughtful and cerebral in the story in the book, and a little more physical in the show. But I think trying to find that balance was a really interesting thing. And but when you're making your contribution to the Stephen King cinematic universe, you want him to be a good character.
Absolutely. Look, this show touches on themes of autonomy, manipulation, and fighting the system bigger than yourself. Was there a scene or moment from the show that made that weight of those situations really hit home for each of you?
Yeah, I think. So how much of the show have you
I've seen all 8 episodes, and I immediately want season 2.
Yeah, I mean, so do I. I think the testing scenes because Luke is strapped down and he's just being slapped into submission, and
when you first get slapped, that's a real moment in the first
that's when it's
like okay, we're in good, something's real is happening.
I think the moment for me was oxygen deprivation.
Oh yeah.
Because you have zero power in that situation. It's just that's the worst. Maybe one of my biggest fears is just, because that's, God, I can't even.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
Imagine that.
As a guy that has asthma, I feel that. I totally understand that. Look, guys, this show was absolutely amazing. Like I said, after I watched season 8, I immediately wanted to queue up season 2. So congratulations, fantastic job, and thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
We're gonna bring this whole place down.